The Tommy Campbell Show. California Governor Gavin Newsom and the rest of the internet trolled Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and others this week with an effort to draw attention to the truth and mock those on cover-up mode. The escalated mockery was well-timed since Trump and MAGA declared war on escalators after Trump's visit to the UN was plagued with hilarious technical difficulties. I just love that it stops and he waits for it to start like, oh, please don't let this happen to me. Oh, no. The reactions of a gazelle didn't exactly roll with it. People, escalators are not a ride. The ones in the London Underground feature stand on the right signs to promote a stand right, walk left etiquette. Standing on the right allows passengers to hold the handrail with their dominant hand and facilitates faster movement for those walking on the left. When Donnie was forced to walk, he was really missing his Mar-a-Lago stair lift, and eventually he goes up it like he's cross-country skiing. Dozy Don was defeated by the escalator. Poor guy. The entire world is laughing at the low IQ president. Next stop, the best room at Memory Meadows Retirement Resort. Tylenol included. Enjoy your stay, Don. GCN.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the two things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
First off, they were laughing at you, not with you, Donald. And stopped in the middle? It got 2 steps. Are you that demented that you think the escalator was that long? If this is your depth perception, it's no wonder you have to have your caddy cheat for you at golf. Dude's brain is like the funhouse mirror at a dirt mall parking lot carnival. Subscribe. Just loving the escalator memes, Trump crying, Jumbo Trump destroying it. Oh, this wins. You know, politics again. Very funny guy. Well played. That's just fantastic. Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt took to social media and posted, if someone at the UN intentionally stopped the escalator as the president and first lady were stepping on, they need to be fired and investigated immediately. Okay, even if someone did intentionally stop it, they don't need to be investigated. They need to be commended. Great job. It was very funny. But here's what actually happened. The White House videographer who was filming while walking backwards ahead of them accidentally tripped the safety mechanism that shut down the escalator. He was pulling all the gear. This happened to me once on an escalator when I had the jogger stroller and I got to the top and I was maneuvering it off and it tripped something and, but TJ Maxx didn't launch an investigation. They didn't want to arrest me. So the escalator was Trump's own team. And the teleprompter, well, that wasn't the UN. The White House Communications Agency, the WHCA, works for Trump. They operate the teleprompter flawlessly 99.9% of the time, but there have been glitches over the years, even with Obama. But also, what's with all the teleprompter backlash from the people who spent years saying Trump is awesome because he doesn't use a teleprompter? He does use a teleprompter. And you're angry that the one you think he doesn't use wasn't working? Oh, give me a break. Here's Waters' reaction.
And then they sabotage the teleprompter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an insurrection. And what we need to do is either leave the UN or we need to bomb it. It is in New York, though, right?
Yeah,
there could be some fallout there.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe gas it?
No.
Let's not do that.
Oh, my gas
goodness.
it. Okay.
So a week ago, we had Jimmy Kimmel canceled for a moment. During the same week, a Fox host said to kill homeless people. Now we have Jesse Waters suggesting to bomb the United Nations, and then kind of downgrades it to gassing. This is the most watched program on cable TV. Millions of people are forming their opinions off a show that claims Trump is the fittest but would have been taken out by an escalator, and that wants to blow up the place that contributes to stability, progress, and the well-being of people across the globe. My sister lived in New York for 15 or so years. I have many relatives there. On every trip, I went to the UN. It was incredible to see something like from school textbooks and in class and just in real life. It was very powerful. I loved taking the tour. I also went to Conan, Letterman, and Sally Jesse Raphael, so I wasn't that brainy. The King just finished a tremendous trip to New York City for the United Nations General Assembly. World leaders lined up blocks long to meet me, Gavin C. Newsom, the real leader of America. Dozy Don was very rude to them. He said, "Your countries are going to hell." Not nice, Mr. President. I won't say who, but many after told me privately, "Sir, the United Nations would like to rename NYC to Newsom, New York City in your honor." I'm very humble and not braggadocious, but I do deserve this, and so we will rename NYC soon. Everybody loves the idea. A great honor. Thank you for your attention to this matter. GCN. Newsom, York City. Come on, that's fantastic. And he will have to fix up Newsom, York City because, there are some problems. A real disgrace. Escalator was broken at Trump Tower today. I've launched an investigation into this matter. Newly released Jeffrey Epstein estate documents published by House Democrats include calendars, call logs, ledgers, and flight manifests from 2000 to 2019. The most eye-catching entries mention high-profile figures. A 2014 note about a possible island trip with Elon Musk. Wait, what? Remember when Elon Musk tweeted that Trump was in the files and then deleted it? Was this why Elon deleted that? We thought it was pressure from Trump or chickening out, but did Musk know he was going to be named in the document sooner or later? This is pretty major, but the document doesn't clearly show whether the trip did occur or what the nature of his interactions were, if there were any. There's also a 2017 lunch scheduled with Peter Thiel, and Thiel's connection is especially sensitive given that a Senate letter from Ron Wyden in June 2025 claimed that Epstein made a $40 million investment into Thiel's ventures, and Thiel has close political and financial ties to J.D. Vance, from backing him to investing with J.D. in the right-wing dumpster fire megaphone Rumble, home to Don Jr. and others. Gross. Another big one is a 2019 breakfast with Steve Bannon. Breakfast with Bannon. People I would not want to eat across from. You haven't touched your food. Yeah, because your face made me lose my appetite. I'm on the Bannon diet. Prince Andrew is listed as a passenger of one of Epstein's aircraft, and financial disclosures in the document suggest possible payments from Epstein for masseuses on behalf of an individual identified as Andrew. Could be any Andrew, though. Could be Andrew Lloyd Webber. I love Cats, the musical, not the stupid pet. The documents underscore how Epstein maintained contact with influential business and political elites years after his 2008 plea deal. Whether I'm researching the show or just catching up with the latest, one of the sites I like to use is Ground News because they give you an overview of the coverage and work with 3 independent news monitoring organizations to rank the bias and factuality of the media outfit attached to a story. They are an independent organization, and I thought that was a great fit for this independent creator. So when they offered to help make this episode, we settled on a head of hair and a boat. Wait, well, that's not in the contract? Dare to dream. Still bald, still in my basement. The site and companion app sync together. There are no ads. It really gives a distraction-free way of getting the news while showing the sources and how it's all being framed. They're not selling their version of the truth, but instead empowering you to stay well-informed and think freely for yourself. There are often things happening that we all miss, and Ground News uses your reading habits to offer up a blind spot section that shows something that didn't have a lot of coverage on one side. If you're right-wing, maybe you didn't know 160,000 applicants have signed up for Florida's first black bear hunt in a decade. But conservationists have filed a lawsuit to stop it from happening, arguing that the December hunt is unconstitutional. What is Bobby Kennedy going to bring to the Mar-a-Lago potluck Christmas dinner if he can't show up with his parasite platter? Here's your brain worms, Donnie. On the left, you may not know a lawsuit claims Tesla prefers visa holders over American citizens to lower labor costs, violating federal civil rights laws. In 2024, Tesla reportedly hired roughly 1,355 visa workers while laying off over 6,000 U.S. employees, mainly citizens. The complaint states this allows Tesla to pay lower wages to visa-dependent employees compared to American workers doing the same job. The thing is, all these people will eventually be out of work when Elon replaces everyone with robots. Well, okay, if that's the best he can do, if it takes 2 minutes to scoop a sack of popcorn, maybe Space Karen's plan has a way to go. I think you'll really enjoy Ground News, and they gave me a link for you to use. It's an exclusive offer, so be sure to use it or scan my QR code. Go to groundnews.com/Tommy and get 40% off their Vantage plan, bringing it under $5 a month. Since wannabe dictator Donald Trump loves monuments so much, a statue was installed by a group going by Secret Handshake, which claimed to have obtained a permit for the statue depicting Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein titled Best Friends Forever, featuring lines from the drawing Trump claims he never put in his best friend's birthday book, along with a creepy doodle and a signature that was even verified by Fox News. This is the kind of stuff we'd expect out of the UK, so good job on learning from their mockery, because this really is next level. This was installed on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday, September 23rd, and the permit was good until Sunday. People were supposed to be enjoying this. But due to some non-compliance with some measurements in the permit terms, it was ordered to be removed. The group tried to resubmit, but before the specs were reviewed, it was destroyed and removed by the National Park Service early Wednesday morning. But thankfully, the internet is forever. Epstein-Minifin, the painkiller that mysteriously vanishes overnight, trusted by doctors and then suddenly not. Side effects may include disbelief, cover-ups, and missing footage. Tylenol, take 2 and release the Epstein files. Perfect. Trump announced he would be imposing a 50% tariff on all kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and associated products, as well as a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture beginning October 1st. A tariff of 30% on upholstered furniture, you know who this hurts the most. J.D. Vance, how could you, Donald? Well, you probably didn't plan it for this weekend, but a looming 30% leap in the price of furniture is going to motivate some purchases. My wife always wants to go to IKEA, though. I think no man has ever wanted to go to IKEA. I don't know a guy that's ever woken up and thought, you know what? Let's ruin Saturday. Let's go brave that giant store. Also, got to point out that Trump told retailers to eat the tariffs, which again admits that it's not other countries paying the tariffs. It's a tax, and it's always passed on to the consumer. Trump's been showing off his renovations. He renovated the Palm Room. The master builder that hasn't laid a brick or a willing woman in his life had this room turned into this. Where would you rather sit and have a cocktail or your morning coffee? The place that looks like a marble slab creamery, or the one with the lovely plants and the cozy seat? Like, isn't Barron going to bump his head on that chandelier? It looks pretty low for most people. But that wasn't the only renovation. He updated the photos, posting this photo showing that Biden's was replaced with AutoPen. Every president has used AutoPen, and even Trump acknowledges he uses AutoPen at times, and he says he uses it a little, which means he uses it a lot. Now, the internet had a lot of fun with this one, updating things. I do like the pig Trumps on the side, the terrible tan line, and the fat golfing Trump with Biden chilling, having an ice cream, and of course, you've got the Epstein one.
Now, I get on an airplane yesterday. Yes, everybody, I'm flying commercial. I've spent every dime I have. I don't have a plane anymore. Let's get that right out there.
Okay, like flying these days doesn't suck enough. You run the risk of being sat next to the guy that will steal your armrest and spend an hour telling you about defamation. I love that Lindell admitted to losing his plane, because he spent a lot of public appearances pushing back on this, saying it was fake news.
Mike Lindell's failed cyber symposium, he had to sell his airplane. As I'm driving around in my airplane, as I'm driving around in my airplane.
Do you drive around in an airplane? This sounds like something Lindell would actually try and do, though. Try and take his jet down the highway. We don't need to fly there, we'll drive. Here's the truth, pal. You're not funny and you never will be. You have never played a real comedy show and probably did open mic for about 10 minutes before you started streaming this lefty junk. Wise up while you have a choice, punk. First off, I love that you think about is 2 words and that we're pals. That's cute. The truth is, I've played thousands of shows in over 35 countries for over 25 years in clubs, theaters, arenas, and military bases abroad. I was a support act tasked with getting the crowd going on the taping of one of Jim Jeffries' biggest Netflix specials, and my 4 albums have millions of streams on Spotify. Millions. The only positive result from your failed attempt at a no-nonsense comedy reality check is the time it took you to fire off this comment gave your eyes too far apart face a break from the glory hole. Mega tears. He is a president. Show some respect. Stop calling him Diaper Don. RESPEC. Find out what it means to me. It doesn't really have the same ring to it, does it? Unlike you, Otis Redding could spell. I call him Diaper Don because the bloated orange bully wears them, as confirmed by apprentice staffer Noel Castler. If this were not true, Diaper Don would have most certainly sued Noel. But he didn't, and to suggest he doesn't do dumps in his pants is an insult to Eric, who has the prestigious job of fishing logs out with the golden turd tongs. MAGA tears. I heart UN escalators. You should have had one that said, I heart UN escalators and teleprompters, Ivanka. You were so close. Tried to resubmit the that it stops and he waits for it to start. He didn't want to move. Like, did I just let one go? Was that a wet one? I can confirm the Tommy Campbell Show is the best political comedy show on YouTube. And I hope you subscribe.